So, I hiked 7 kilometers and climbed 350 meters up a Norwegian coastal mountain. For this, a completely impenetrable wall of white. My brilliant plan was to catch a stunning sunset from Kjerringtind, a viewpoint on Godøya Island that's mostly a local secret. But the wild Atlantic coast, as it often does, had other much foggier ideas. This is the story of what happens when the perfect hike doesn't go to plan, and the unexpected magic you find when you stop chasing the view you wanted and start loving the one you got. This is what a real Norwegian hiking adventure feels like. My goal for the day was specific. I wasn't aiming for the main peak, Storhornet, which is an incredible hike on its own. I was after a lesser known gem, Kjerringtind. It's a spot that isn't splashed all over the tourist maps. It's a place locals treasure. One you hear about in quiet conversation about the best spot to watch the sun melt into the Atlantic. The hike is a respectable 7 kilometer round trip with about 350 meters climb. Totally manageable, but just enough to make you feel like you've earned your reward. The plan was simple. Start in the late afternoon from the Hestvika parking lot, climb the steady gravel path of Alnesfjelvegen up to the main plateau, and hit Kjerringtind right in the time of that golden hour magic. The day started off perfectly, leaving the car near the quiet fishing village. It felt like I was setting off on a proper adventure. The first part of the trail is Alnesfjelvegen, a well-kept path that just steadily winds its way up. It's steep enough to get your heart pumping, but the views open up almost right away, giving you these little postcard glimpses of the ocean and the village below to keep you going. As I climbed higher, the world just opened up. The path eventually spills onto this wide plateau, about 250 meters above the sea, and this is where Godøya really starts to put on a show. From up there, you can look down on the coast, and today, the Atlantic was performing. Down at Sandvika beach, a spot famous for its powerful waves, I could see them, tiny black figures on white boards, surfing these massive Atlantic swells. There's something so raw watching surface here. These aren't lazy summer waves, this is the full, untamed force of the North Atlantic. And then I saw it, another bit of aerial theatre. A paraglider, just a silent, graceful wing catching the updraft from the cliffs. It was one of those little unexpected gifts, a moment of pure magic. Seeing the surface and the paraglider, I was even more amped for the sunset. The conditions seemed perfect, the elements were at play, the light was beautiful, the stage was set. The main event, the sunset at Kjerringtind, was going to be absolutely spectacular. I was sure of it. I pushed on from the plateau, the trail getting rougher as it snaked through the rocks in marshy spots. Then the air started to change. It was subtle at first, a sudden coolness, a dampness that wasn't there minutes ago. A little breeze picked up, and with it came the heavy, unmistakable smell of the deep ocean. Out to the west, exactly where the sun was supposed to be putting on its grand finale, a bank of grey was building. It was a solid wall, and it was moving with an unnerving speed. This was sea fog. The infamous Norwegian coastal weather I'd heard so much about was rolling in. My heart sank. It'll burn off, I told myself, the classic hiker's prayer. It's probably just a small patch. But deep down I knew better. I've spent enough time in these mountains to know that when fog rolls in from the Atlantic, it doesn't ask for permission. I started hiking faster, my boots finding a quicker rhythm on the trail. It turned into this silent, ridiculous race against the weather. I was chasing a sunset that was being swallowed by a tide of grey. My world started to shrink. The vibrant greens and blues were muted into a monochrome palette. The grand stage was closing down for the night, whether I was ready for it or not. I finally reached the rocky outcrop of Kjerringtind. I made it. I scrambled up the last few meters, turned to the west, ready for whatever view was left, and there it was. Or, well, there it wasn't. The view was disappearing utterly and completely. I was standing on one of the most majestic viewpoints on the entire coast, and all I could see was a dense, swirling, milky white. The epic sunset, the golden light, the panoramic views, they were all happening somewhere else, on the other side of this thick, damp blanket.